You're such an asshole.
We have in front of you, I know there's consultation and there's some value here in the topic that's going to be discussed, but more importantly, this is exactly what I want to see in terms of requests. And this is a $35 request. Yeah. What is a $35 request, Cappy? Is it cheap? Is it crappy consultation? No, we got to the point. He's succinct. I'm going to save this. I'm going to save it because it gets to the freaking point. Now, I started when I was my incel mother. Glug, 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 glug. He got, look, are you ready? Sit down. Dear Cappy, I'm a conflicted short guy and could use your help. I'm 5'6", right off the bat, see? On one hand, you have the black pillar saying I'm doomed, while the red pillars claim with work, effort, and game, I can get the girl saw. See? Also a wink and a nod that he tunes into the show. I have put in the work, as Rich Cooper says, in my career, the gym, and my finances. I run day game and put some effort into my online dating profile. I do not sit on my ass and whine, but take action to become the best version of myself. But the results have been mixed, and if I were to be honest, not satisfactory. Sure, I get laid occasionally, but just like your experience, there is rarely a second or third date. And the girls that I do have success with are not approaching anything near marriage material. I'm an engineer, a martial artist, and I have a sizable garden that I enjoy tending to. So I have opportunity costs. Again, he doesn't have to tell me he's a big fan. I know, I'm getting it. Plus, to be perfectly honest, I'm 36 and I'm getting tired of this shit. Oh. You have any advice for guys who are short and whether it is worth all this extra effort to get the girl, sir? Is it in our control regardless? Is it out of our control regardless of height, given the type of women that are available today? Should I follow my heart and major in British history? See a little bit of humor. Man, I'm going to probably frame this. Thanks for all you do, Anonymous. Thank you for a well-written request. All right, but it's even though it's real well written, we gotta kind of this is going to be somewhat of a more complicated answer. All right, here's the deal. It's not that I think what it gets to is there seemingly is this mutually exclusivity between the black and red pills. And that it's all doom and gloom or there's still hope. And I think that's what it is. And then the black pillars say, oh, the red pillars are just giving you hope where there is none. And the red pillars are saying, oh, the black pillars are just a bunch of incels who don't work. And I'm still to this day of the belief that they are not mutually exclusive, that they are both correct. And I think short guys bring this into light where we have to be empirical above all else. And short men have to be empirical. Short girls, you can just do whatever. And yet there is statistically in the book of Numbers, I linked to it down below. And even Troy Francis contacted me about it. He's like, hey, what did your numbers calculate? I said, the number one thing, I'm not giving away the book or anything. The number one thing is the number of girls you ask out, the amount of effort you put in. And so I also linked to Troy Francis, the real Troy Francis, linked down below. The guy who has his face on my profile for whatever reason on Google. Apparently Google thinks that I'm Troy Francis. And yeah, it's both. You're at a huge disadvantage being short, but if you lie down and die, you don't stand any chances, and there are things that you could do to increase your chance. So let's go through a couple things, right? First, height is the number one thing of women, and the reason I know this, aside from being a short gentleman myself, is that you see it in dating profiles, but more importantly, there was an interview I was listening to where Thinking Ape was interviewing a guy who worked at the sperm bank, and he said, and it is you get a catalog, and the number one thing women select for is height, not money, not education. Those are up there; those are number 2 and 3. But it's height. They want height. Then I think it is money and then education or career. I exactly forget how it was meant. And then weird things or amorphous things like, oh, he looks like he's got a nice smile or something like that. But it's height. And where I get a little pissed off with the dating coaches, especially the fraudulent one, just lift more, bro. It's like, no, if you're 5'5", no offense, you're screwed. You're screwed. And yes, game and lifting weights, becoming, the best version that you possibly can be of yourself is going to statistically help you and asking more girls out, but you're still at a disadvantage. If you look at, say, Justin Waller, who I believe is 6', 6'1", 6'2". Now he puts obviously the effort into the gym and his looks and his career. I would say he's probably the handsomest man. Maybe Sterling Cooper is a tie. But both these guys are taller. And you could have those guys' looks and everything. You could have everything else maxed out on your Dungeons and Dragons character sheet. If you're short, sorry. Short men are men's fat chicks. Girls just are naturally not attracted to you. So I would first start by acknowledging you're at a huge disadvantage. All right. And that's not whining. That's not complaining. And the reason it's not whining and complaining, especially in your case, is you have done the other stuff. Right. So I get equally tired of fraudulent dating coach, just lift more, bro, and ignoring the true disadvantage of height. And as I get equally tired of the defeatists who, bitches just don't like men, and they hit, why try? And I'm too short, so I never tried in the first place, because you have had some success. Right. And that was my experience too. Like, if I had to peg it, I was the fun guy. You had a ballroom dance. I had a convertible. I think even my poverty might have worked to my advantage, because girls would come to my basement apartment. It was nice. It was fancy. Go watch my video on taste, the economic value of having taste. I think they saw, this guy is the fun guy, and I don't want to marry him because he's poor. So I think I got laid a lot in that basement. So it happened, but you're right. They were gone. Certainly by the third date, if you even made it to the second. So that's what he has there. You also talk about, again, let's be empirical, or you floated the idea that are women just not that interested. They're the caliber is it outside of my control. That is a factor too. That is in addition to your height. So in addition to you already having the worst trait possible when it comes to dating women, shortness. Modernly speaking, I mean, you were born in the wrong generation. I'm terribly sorry. If you are interested in marriage, and the girl saw, women are just not that interested in marriage. They're not interested in having kids, and certainly not with short guys. So you got a chance of being the fun guy or a fling, but nothing long term. And you're indicating marriage as well. Right. So you got height. There's not exactly the pool of women. If you don't believe me, go get The Menu Life Without the Opposite Sex. Also get the Book of Numbers. You can see about it there yourself. So you got those two huge things going against you. Women are not that interested, and they're definitely not interested in short guys. All right. Now, that being said, I am not going to cut short the effects of game and working on yourself and being the best you can be. Guys, I'm not 5'6". That's pretty short. I'll admit that. I'm 5'9". Maybe more like 5'8", I guess, depending on the shoes I wear. But I heavily compensated by asking out a ton of girls and learning a ballroom dance. I won't lie, that was a situational alpha, but it was a good skill to have. And Rollo had his rock star, literal guitar playing rock star up on the band. And also being a teacher, I taught economics and statistics. That also helped, where you're in a position of leadership and authority. All right. There is no doubt in my mind that the red pill is now equally valid. There are things you can do to drastically improve your chances. But if your chances are 0.000000001 and you multiply it 100-fold, it's still only 0.0001. Although the Book of Numbers is actually quite optimistic when you look at it and you go through the numbers, because there are things you can almost do to not guarantee, but have a better than roulette chance, red or black. Better than 50-50 chance of finding yourself a quality girl. But where this puts short men in kind of the twilight zone is what I call the gray zone. Where if you're a short guy, you get into the 7 or 8, and I call that the gray zone. Now, I did not come up with this idea. This is Adam Piggott. Please go read his book, Pushing Rubber Downhill. You can check out his podcast, pushingrubberdownhill.com. And he fancies himself an 8, I'd imagine. And what he talked about is your 7 or 8s. You didn't want to be a 7 or 8. And I even did a video about why you don't want to be a 7 or 8, because it gives you hope. Occasionally a crumb falls. A girl will give you a little bit of box. You'll have the occasional bouts of success. You will get a date, kind of like you will get, but then they're gone if you're looking for something a little bit longer term, or they flake on you. I remember one girl, dude, she came over to my place and just wanted to F me. I hosted a party. She dressed up real fancy, did not wear panties. People are like, dude, she's kind of flirting. I'm like, yeah, that's weird, isn't it? Because we were kind of friends before. And boy, she decided she wanted to have sex that night. I obliged, because I am a kind and compassionate Cappy. I'm very charitable. So, and then she visited me at work one time working security. I got a blowjob. And I was like, oh, this is great. And then she came over a third time, and I went in for the action. She's like, no, what are you doing? I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean? What am I doing? What are you talking about? Don't we have a rapport? Don't we have an established reputation here? Like, we got a trend going on. Here's a chart. But that's the life of a 7 or an 8. You get some success, but what are they're waiting for the 9s and the 10s. And more recently, that it's not recent. It's just I don't keep up that much with the data. I guess I should have plugged that into the book of numbers. But what was it? It's not 95.5. They're going after the linear top 5%. I think it's women swipe only on 4.5% of matches. No, 4.5% of the men that show up on their swipey apps. The point was women only initiate contact or show interest. That's the best way to put it. For the top 5% of guys. And so if you're a 7 or 8, you're the top 25, top 20 at best. You're good enough for a girl to be, I don't know, I need some dick, or she's bored, or she wants some attention, or there's some quirky. You're the fun guy with the fun basement bedroom studio bachelor apartment, and he's always got a drink for you. You're the fun guy, but you're not the guy she's going to commit to, or the guy she really wants. That's the other guy. And now, of course, we're going back 20 odd years or so for me. But more modernly, it looks like you got to be in the top 5%, 4.5%. And so I fear it's kind of almost the worst of all worlds. If you're a true 3, you're ugly, you're overweight, you're not going to put in the effort to improve yourself. You're a 3. You know you're a 3, and you kind of don't have the hope. You're not getting strung along with hope. You know you're ugly. You know the girls aren't going to want you. You know you got to pay for it if you're going to pay for it. You're jerking off to your prawn. You're playing your video games. Women are probably not even a thought, which is kind of a more relaxing and certainly less stressful or less, I don't know. You're not as stressed. Like, I hope this new game comes. I fancy Chris Beckloff like that. He's not a 3, but he is overweight. I'm not calling you a 3, Chris. You're a 5 at best, though. I'll tell you that. So, and he knows he's got to lose weight, but he doesn't care. He's got his video games, got his dog. He does his podcast. He's happy. It's a very stress-free, simple life. But if you're a 5'6" guy and you become the best version you can possibly be, now you got hope. And ask all the black people who voted for Barack Obama how that hope worked out. Didn't work out so well, did it, guys? I shouldn't be voting Democrat. I keep telling you guys, well, everybody have a better life. Now you get a crumb. And I think I even talked about it in 78. Do you remember old Gil from The Simpsons? Oh, come on, can't old Gil get a break? He's like a lawyer. Oh man, just a sweet little taste. Just give me a little taste. That's it. You become Gil. You want just that sweet little, come on, can't Gil win one time? And okay, you did roulette, you bet black, it came up black, but it's not gonna come up half. You get enough to get addicted. You get enough to think there's a chance. You get enough to think that if you just had a tweak, had a slightly different change to your strategy, a different a tactic, a nip, a tuck, something's different. I need your help, Ross. You're so close. You just gotta turn the dial to 6.5 instead of 7, and then you're gonna go and work and bust your ass off. No, you get a little bit. Some girls like, yeah, it would be. Maybe the girls let their guard. Well, I've talked about this before. Maybe you've heard it since you seem to know the phrases. A lot of times, not the majority, but a significant percent, things would be going great. Everything's wonderful. I'm like, hey, what's up? Do you want to, this would be like third, even fourth, fifth date. One guy, I think I dated her 2 months. And just the sadness. Yeah, I don't think it's going to work out. What? Why not? I thought we did. Okay, I'm not that dumb to second guess myself. We had great times. Great times. I was a pretty good dater. I didn't take my girls on boring dates. We're going to this place to get cocktails. We're going to take the convertible. We're going to ride in at the time 85 Cutlass Supreme, or more modernly, the 89 Chevy Caprice Classic, both of which are sadly gone now. We're gonna go ballroom dancing. That was my end. We're gonna go to this cool. We go cruise we'll do the lakes, we'll do the river with the fun guy. And we had fun. I was like, man, and then I get laid. It really, like, those are the good days. Everything made sense. But sure as hell, hey, not even thinking the girl would say no. Just, oh yeah, I can't. What do you mean? What? What? We went to Mario's Keller Bar. We played Hammerschlagen. We had a you were happy. Oh no, I just don't think it'll work. And I always was wondering, and I'm thinking, like, you know what? I think it was the height. Like, things were getting so good, she may have started to develop feels, but then realized, oh, he's only 5'8", 5'9". We can't have that. What will the girls at the office think? That won't be my friends in a short 5 years anymore because they're all catty and backstabby. It's really important. I have a status symbol for that. I won't know. I'll never know. But it was really odd. And that was more than a handful of times where, by gum, by howdy, we had as much fun as well-endowed Molly. Huh? And that is where I think the best that you're going to get stuck in is that gray zone, where it's going to be all hope for old Gil, but nothing's going to pan out. And so I gotta conclude. I mean, I'll give you some things here, but obviously the ROI on short men's investment of game is nowhere near as that of taller men. I mean, that's just a given. A girl can learn to cook, and she can be really nice, and she cannot be a Marxist, and she can learn about Austrian economics, but she's fat. That's not going to go as far as a gal who's in shape and does those exact same things. And don't get angry. And I think you're smart enough to know this. Don't get angry at women about it. They are not. You cannot force them to be attracted to short dudes. That's just it. So I am not saying don't become the best you can be, because if you read any of my books, the argument is remove women from the formula, become the best you could be anyway, because it's your life. You want to be the best. But I think it's more important that you reel in your expectations and know, as a short person, what the limitations of game are. They're definitely going to help, whatever tactics and techniques. Asking girls out a lot is certainly going to help. Learning to be charming and charismatic. Obviously, these things are all going to help, but you got to know the limitations. And I mean, how much more effort do you want to put into this? Sounds like you did kind of all you could. You gave it the old college try, and you're starting to run into things that seem very familiar to me back in my day. So there's not much I can say that you probably haven't heard already. So first, I don't know why people don't say this, date shorter girls, target shorter girls. I know you got the dating profiles of 5'2", must be 6 feet tall. I know you have Western women's completely delusional expectations, but I would start dating shorter girls. Keep asking. It doesn't cost you anything to ask a girl, especially if you get to the point where you're inured to rejection. So, you see the cute girl, and again, that's been the dating advice I give. Like, don't get your hopes up, but you see a cute girl, ask her out. If you, this just takes time, but develop a devastating personality. I knew this guy called Paul. He was 5'4". This guy could charm the socks off of Cary Grant. He'd make Cary Grant look like Gilbert Godfrey. That's how charming Paul was. And no girl would probably settle for him, but man, were they tempted. And so if you got a really good, confident, charming personality, which comes with time and practice, I would do that. There's another one I wanted to add. Personality. Escape, Another one I got listed here. Cheat. Get yourself some lifts. Look, girls can do it. They get the fake boobies, they get the eyelashes, they get the makeup, they get the things and the stuff, and they get the heels. Guys, go ahead, do the lifts. You got my express permission to do the lifts. And it's not lying any more than they are. So I would definitely get the lifts. I would consider overseas. You seem to be interested in marriage or something a little bit more than just a little bit of way, hey. And you're just gonna have that. I'd give to any kind of guy. Again, there are lots of drawbacks and risks to doing that. You don't move them here. You got green card seekers. You got scams. You got gold diggers. Yes, all those problems. But the again, read the book of Numbers. If your interest is marriage, and go read the report that came out by Morgan Stanley about half women aren't going to be married, then it's just not interested. You're going to have to go overseas to a culture where women are interested in getting married, if that is, or having a family, I should say. And as always, do not bring them back here. Just don't bring them back here. So, and I love how girls like, you just can't tolerate you. It's like, no, this is a perfectly reasonable and strategic and wise thing to do. I want to get married. I want to have family. I want to have kids. I want a traditional wife. We know you tell us you're not going to be traditional. Fine, we're going overseas. Oh my God, look who can't. Yep, you're right. See you, bye. And then you go, you have your kids and you have your family. So I would consider that, but consider it in a wise way. But above all else, man, as with everything else, align your expectations with reality. I cannot emphasize this enough, especially for shorter men. It today, past generation, is not how it's been for the past 200,000 years of human evolution, 2 million years of human evolution, if you want to consider Neanderthal, Cro-Magnon a human or not. The epic, the time we're in, epic, that's a little bit more, the very short period of time where technology and feminist theory has made it that women, for whatever reason, whether you agree with it or not, they are absolutely not interested in having kids or getting married. Now let me rephrase that. They are absolutely not interested in being a wife and a mother. Some are, at a certain level, interested in getting married and having kids. Right? But those priorities are nowhere near the top like they used to be back in the day. They are squarely 5th, 6th, or 7th place based on polling data. Right? And because of the way nature of God, whoever you want to believe in, made men and women, men have an exponentially higher interest in women than women do men. And so unless we're going to what is the show where the women are walking around in the funny bonnet? Unless you're going to have a dictatorship, which I'm against because frankly, you don't want to manage it. You guys, this is why I wrote the menu, Life Without the Opposite Sex. Half of you are not getting married going forward by 2030, which is only 8 short years away. Half of you probably are not getting married. And I am sympathetic with those of you who want to have kids and want to have a family. I understand. But you guys, I don't want you to have hope. Get comfortable with the fact that you're going to spin that roulette ball is going to spin around on the roulette wheel, and you put it on red, and generally speaking, minus the greens, you put it on black, it's going to end up red, or vice versa. Half of you might get, and then if you don't believe me, go get the book of Numbers. You're like, oh yay, I won, I got married. You ain't out of the woods by a long shot. The vast majority of marriages end up in divorce or miserable. Half end in divorce. All of them end up, nearly all, not all. Okay, the majority end up miserable. I think it's only an 86% chance that there's only a 14% chance you're going to be happily married. 86% of you will either be miserable or divorced. Might be happily divorced, but the marriage will fail. All right. So, keep those statistics in mind and get the book of Numbers, Analyzing ROI in the Pursuit of Women, available on Amazon, paperback, Kindle, audio, not hardcover, I don't think. But yeah, you're gonna have to get your expectations aligned with reality. And the reason for that is so that you don't suffer and struggle and pine and hope and get hope is horrible. And you instead focus on your garden. Focus on your garden, man. Focus on your career. Certainly ask the girls out, but the key thing is not to wistfully wish that someday, if I just tweaked it a little bit, if I wore blue shoes instead of red shoes, like, no, man, it's like, yeah, the numbers are not looking good. The numbers are not looking good. St. Fred confirmed it. Yeah, numbers aren't looking good. And those numbers are real. And so I think you just kind of, and here's another thing you could look at it this way. Did you do your best? You did. That's all you could have done. And now you got your answer. And I think women's reluctance or tooth pulling to go to whatever next level, like you're not happy with it. I think that's just there's your answer. You got your answer. And now it's like, okay, do you want to keep investing that time? Look, man, I totally get it. Here's a piece of me. The GF ever went away, given the pain in the ass it is. I honestly think no, I just eat garbage food. Although I won't lie, I did eat a bunch of, I gave myself treats. Because it was too hot to hike. I needed some kind of stimulation. And I was also working outdoors and doing manual labor so I could have treats. But I ended up having I would have a little bowl of ice cream a night. And then maybe I'd go get myself a crumble cookie. And I ended up getting zits on my back. Not a lot, but a couple. I haven't had zits in 25 years. I have to give up the sweets. But I'll tell you, if the womans ain't there, it'd be kind of like, think Cappy's just going to play video games and go for a hike and travel and eat like a pig. Eat like a friggin', not going to the gym. I'd probably be skinny fat again. I'd probably just be really good cardio shape. I'd be a really good hiker, but I just eat garbage all the time. But I would probably never lift a weight ever again. Maybe I'd do yard work. Maybe I'd go and dig out the swamp a little bit more, make sure it maintains its clean pond status. But yeah, man, life is too short working for something that isn't going to ever be there or pay off. And for short guys, hey, you see the cute girl, ask her out. Be very clear in your dating profile. Put in the effort, put in the work. But at the end of the day, you got a choice. Go to a nightclub or tend to your tomatoes in your garden. I'd be tending to the tomatoes and tuning into a cool podcast like the Clary podcast, which I haven't had one in a while because I've been too damn busy. All right, so we got 345. If you all kindly would subscribe to my channel, I'm getting there almost to 100,000, so I can be the owner of a plastic trophy that I could show my dad. The only response of which, that's the whole reason. It's not like, oh, I got to 100,000. How my big swinging internet dick. That's not it. I want to show my dad. I'm like, hey, look, 100,000. What's that for? I just wanted to see the look on it. You should be proud, Dad. Proud. This is an important thing. It's plastic. Look, it's all shiny. All right, let's go to the super chats. God almighty, what the hell's with the chat room? Oh my God. I'll be on with Jack Napier later on, Red Evening, 10 p.m. Mountain Time, my time. So translate that into your time. Me, Mike, $2. Huaman, am I right? Laughing at how cruel Cappy. So sad. I'm not cruel. Lying to him. But look, what's crueler? His mom, who no doubt said, well, maybe you're just fishing in the wrong hole. Maybe you just attract the wrong type of girls. Just be yourself. And then he goes and gets splattered on the beaches of Normandy. Or is it maybe like, hey, here's some armor. The Germans are going to be shooting at you. They're going to be targeting because you got something notable that you're bringing on the beach. And, oh yeah, expect to die. Who's nicer? I'm not cruel. The truth cannot be cruel. It cannot be. It cannot be. Taiwan Do, €2. Cappy, what does qualify as short? Under 5'9"? Okay, so let's use math. Or research, the guy said that they would not offer sperm of guys shorter than 5'10". You had to be 5'10" or taller. Like they would not, you were not even, it starts at 5'10". So that is the absolute lowest. Now that was several years ago, according to the guy in the interview. So no doubt, I mean, really, could we say it's 2 inches now, 6 feet? What do the girls say on the dating profiles? I mean, and of course it's a spectrum. And what girl, you're 5'10". Is a girl going to look, oh, he's not tall enough. If you're handsome enough, she will. But yeah, 5'9", you're starting to get there. 5'6", yeah, unfortunately. And, think about our Latino brothers here. Whether you came here legally or not. Oh, a little uphill battle on the dating front for you guys, huh? You're not all 6 foot anthem now, are you? Like, crap, we got to go back to the home country. Yes, I mean, yeah, and the Asian guys too. I mean, people who genetically or ethnically just happen to be shorter. Yeah, and I should have asked what his ethnicity was. Let's scroll down. Hand clogs, $10. Why were you not on Rule 0? Evil equals. I was on Rule 0. What are you talking about this morning? I was on Rule 0. Thank you for all the help and helping others, comrade. Ice cream. Thank you, Hat and Clogs. Getting this keto ice cream. I'm getting serious on the diet now. Sam Whiskey. Most American name in America. $10. Churchill was 5'6", Stalin 5'7", and Audie Murphy was 5'5". They had high testosterone. Well, right, they were also elected leaders. Okay, look, really? Really? You want me to tell them, just become Audie Murphy? Just become the most decorated American soldier. When Winston Churchill, if I believe, was born into it, and Stalin had to murder 1 million or more than 1 million, like, what was it, 20 million people? He also had to fight Hitler. You just become literally 1 in 100 million people. Yeah, and all these guys were back in the day. I'm not sounding black pill. I'm just pointing out all these guys were back in the day when women largely didn't hate men. Women were generally pro men back in the 40s and 50s. Yeah, just go be the most decorated veteran in all of U.S. history, brah. Go mount that 50 caliber machine gun and get shot at. Oh. Me, Mike, $5. Roll did a 10+ minute video on the chart selection and height to income of a 6'2" perfection, the control 6'2" at 80K a year versus 5'8", 130K a year versus 5'4". Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, you have to you have to compensate by certain. There was a methodology he used to translate into numbers, and I think they pulled women. And I think like you needed to make an extra 200 grand. And look, the girls aren't physically attracted to you. I don't care how much money comes in to compensate. At the end of the day, the girl doesn't want to bang the 5'4" guy. She wants to bang the 6'4" guy. Just what it is. And how much do you want to put effort into tooth pulling and trying to constantly game your wife because you're short? I mean, I got a solution. You can leave. Bye. Here are my standards. If you don't meet them, bye. I guess it helps that I'm, I guess a bit, cold, heartless, not human. I just, maybe there's benefits of growing up poor and hungry and like, hey, you know what I really like? Food, clothing, and shelter. And if you get in the way of that, bye. I guess it's outcome independent. But yeah, you're short, guys. You're short. That's what it is. Some people are born blind. Some people are born with other more serious physical ailments or impairments. You know, it is what it is. And what I'm trying to do as an economist is for you to do the ROI calculation and decide, is this time and effort worth it? What would be, for the client, what would be a really good calculation is to sit down, grab yourself a small little notepad and just start jotting down how much time you're spending in the pursuit of women. Like, okay, I did the swipey thing for 20 minutes. I was on the dating profile for 10 minutes. I asked this girl out, how much time did I think about strategizing? That's a huge time suck. Like, what can I do? You're always thinking about it. All right, add that up. That's probably going to be the largest one. And then, add that up for a week or two, figure out your weekly average, do that for a month, figure out your weekly average, and say, all right, I wasted 10 hours this week worrying about that. What could I have done with 10 hours? Could do a lot. Am I in a better mental mood? We're not even talking fine. Are you in a better mental mood now that you've struggled and fretted over this? A+ bots. Well, what are the bots? Who are the bots? Do I have to like get rid of the bots? Osama Abdu, $2. Cappy, are you doing sponsored videos at this time? Yeah, but it's gonna be at least $100. I know I took a month off, but it was just a month off from Asshole Consulting. It wasn't a month off from work. Just let me get into I went to the gym 3 times this week. First time in probably 3 months. It was great going to the gym. It was I hate the gym, but it was like, oh, normalcy. I could do videos. So videos are kind of a little bit more regular now. I don't want this to go away. I don't want to start. So just give me a bit. Me, Mike, $5. Don't need PhD in game theory to discover limb length allows you to use their desire to your upside. That's right. We had a video where a guy wanted to know the opinion on leg extension. And I think a couple guys who had it done said it wasn't worth it. Like it messes up your walk and your gait and everything. Don't strive for marriage material. Fungi is the sweet spot. Yeah, but this guy seems like he wanted to get married. Wisdivision Productions, $10. 5'3", 138, super in shape, no debt, tons of hobbies. I've gotten box in the past. All I had to do was put in 300% effort and be fungi on steroids. Wasn't worth the effort required, honestly. Yeah. I was texting a female, she crushing on me. It's so sad, guys. These girls, I've got so many female fans, and this one's crushing on me. It's like, okay, here, 10-foot stick. You gotta stay away. She hears this. Let me tell you something. I told her, I said, if I were to do it again, like I would not, 80% of the gals I dated and banged, I wouldn't have done it. It wasn't worth the effort. Not the time, effort, and above all else, pain and mental drama. It just wasn't worth it. It really, and I know you all think it's for fun, and I'm not kidding, man. Just pay for the damn stuff. Just pay for it. Be done and over with it. And still go ahead. But yeah, if you're 5'3", wow, man. I don't know about you, Wizda. I didn't know you're that sure. Oh, I didn't click on it. I'm sorry. Here we go. Sorry. Yeah, how much, what could you have done with that otherwise? What could you have done? Had just delete, forget opportunity cost, forget this guy's garden. You could make whatever, but what if you just want to sit and play video games? What if you just want to watch a bunch of World War II movies? What if you just want to like not do anything? I could totally see it. Life is just too darn short. Like you generally went men doing their own thing. Because you can't say that. Scrolling. Keep the rawhide. Point launch. Okay. Brian Dupree, $5. Yeah, look at this guy. He's always hiking. I'm 5'10", which is the actual average height and women call me short all the time. The delusion is real. Cappy, love your videos. Thanks, homie. Okay, so even 5'10" is short. Now, I'd argue that sperm bank donation thing, that is empirical. I'm sure your experiences have been women call you short. You're not. You're average. I'd say you're a little bit above average, but maybe it's moved up higher. But yeah, I mean, if that's the zeitgeist, that's the current mentality of women, that 5'10" is short. It's also a little bit of having self-respect. Like, man, I don't have time for this. Just don't have time. Because that's the worst thing, man, is pulling teeth with a girl. Like, I don't know. It's like, dude, you either are attacking me and ripping my clothes off, like that one gal did. Actually, a couple girls. Just good times in that basement. Or it actually is unattractive. Where like it just gets exhausting. And he says, yeah, frankly, I'm getting tired of this shit. Maybe I'll just, tell me 1 or zeros. Your average dating experience, right? Take your average dating experience. 1, if you'd rather watch Kelly's Heroes compared to your average dating experience. 0, if you'd rather I'd rather have the average dating experience in my past. Here comes all the ones. Chris is not here. $2. Always argue the truth. You don't argue the truth. You tell the truth, and it's whether people want to believe it or not. I don't argue anymore. I just say, here's the numbers, here's the data. The reason housing and education is so expensive because we've been printing off more money since the Obama years. You can't afford a house because you voted for free money. Whether you believe it, don't major in dumb stuff. Oh, the reason you're poor is you had kids you couldn't afford. Or your mom had more kids you couldn't afford because she was there. You could believe it or not. I don't care, but I didn't lose that argument because there is no argument. Scrolling. That. Are we caught up? Oh, here's a bunch more. That's to remind me of the olden days. Wisdom Vision Productions, unvaccinated. No, Wisdom Vision Production again, $5. The millennial generation was raised on the most addicting, insidious form of hopium ever created in the history of mankind. Disney princess movies. No, we had that too, but the bigger hopium was their parents just telling them they could major in whatever they wanted and socialism worked, and that they had value in merely existing. Those 3 big lies that told the millennials that they were valuable unto themselves. They didn't have to do anything. That socialism worked. And you should follow your heart and the money will follow. That is what absolutely destroyed the millennial generation. John G, $5. I stayed muscled up and T-rash, even being married for 20 years now, and they still throw it at me. My wife is like, they knew how mean you are, they do not know. There's voice to text. Thanks for the $5, John. Scrolling down. Be strong, $5. Al Bundy warned us all 30 years ago to never get married and never to have children. Yeah. I don't know. Didn't your dads kind of warn you about that? Didn't you see everyone get divorced? Don't you remember your childhoods? Do you need, again, go back to my video. I'm shocked your childhood upbringings and your old man getting divorced didn't convince you that marriage and having children was kind of a stupid idea. Just as going to school should have taught you that teachers are truly the dumbest, most evil, worthless people on the face of the planet. Like 13 years of K through 12 teachers. Teachers are great. What? Teachers are heroes. What? Atham, I'll take you a $5. I'm 6 feet and it ain't that easy either. There's something wrong with this place. Girls are way nicer in Taiwan and Mexico. American girls are cutthroats. That's a pretty good way to put it. I don't know if they're that opportunistic. Taiwan Do, $2. So one need to win a world war to get like, yeah, you need, no. It's not enough to win the war, Juan. You have to become the most decorated American military man ever. I'm sure between Marines and naval personnel and the Air Force, I think Audie Murphy was Army. You have to become the most decorated military person in the history of the United States. Then you get the girl, sir, okay? Oh. Taekwondo again, $2. Seen plenty of 5'6" men getting laid in Europe. Crazy. Okay, then follow. That's not what I've seen. But good for them. Spencer, $5. I'm 6'3" and even I'm adding an extra inch on my hinge. Do you have to? I thought after. No, you're right. It was after 6'7" it started going down. You were too tall after 6'7". We'll give it till next week. You're just getting ahead of the curve. Me, Mike, $5. My fleshlight shipment was delayed. Guess it's the JR College again. Here's some money for your gender studies degree. You are so strong and independent. Thank you very much. Okay, here comes the ones. Yeah, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Yeah, no zeros. Dung is fun. $2. I had a date yesterday. Waste of time. 1. Boy, this is delayed. Drewski, $2. Will you write a book on how to become T-Rash? I cannot, for I am not T-Rash. Only T-Rash can write a book on becoming T-Rash. I can only study and observe. I don't know the essence of T-Rash, for I have not committed crimes and knocked up copious amounts of women. I don't even come close. I can't look upon T-Rash. I am but a boring economist dude. John G, $2. That typing was inexcusable. I'm sorry. Stay T-Rash. All right, I'll try to stay T-Rash. I don't think I can be T-Rash. Me, Mike, $2. Don't stress. Fourth turning just around the corner. True. That's it. All right, there we go. Glad we had this conversation. Link down below is a link to Troy Francis's dating site if you want some honed skills and technique on game. It's only going to help. I also linked down below the book of numbers to give you some statistical reality as to what the numbers you're looking at. And if you're short, understand the stats are even worse. I mean, that'd probably be for like a 5'10" guy, right? The stats are even worse. And so the key thing to take away from this is don't ruin your life over something that's statistically unlikely to happen. Get things in line with reality. Do your best. And if it happens, cool. If not, don't worry. Go and have yourself a good little time. All right. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.